$24 hours, 45 cars, in the rain. Sounds fine. Unfortunately, we had contact right at the start. And got a few more taps here. We thought we left enough room, as you can see, got tapped in the rear end. Back in the pack, you get caught out a lot more by the slower cars, and unfortunately we tapped this car around. At this point, Greg was a bit fired up and put it to good use. Here's him passing an Audi and a BMW and some Chevys. Even Ferraris aren't safe. And look, it's another Porsche. Suddenly we're in the top 20. Then we're in the top 10. Other cars spinning off and going into pits helped us tremendously, as the early dramas took its toll for a lot of people. Then some of the faster cars started coming back through. This little tap here cost us a few spots. And then unfortunately this happened. The car was pretty hard to drive after this, but Greg pushed on until his first stop. Repairs meant we were down not on the lead lap, and we were down in the back of the field. Then more rain came, and the track got chaotic. Unfortunately, we also got caught out. Dries on a wet track equals not good. Greg pitted in for wets, and the car got fixed up, and I was out there now. The aim was to keep it on the road and out of the wall. Unlike this BMW. Or this Porsche. I found some speed in the wet and started overtaking cars. As well as having to avoid chaos. To get back into the top 30 here, the track was getting wetter and wetter, and some races ended. The sides of the track were very slippery. White lines equal spin. Sometimes it's just the rejoins that would kill you. Even pit exit was a hassle. You just can't afford to touch the white lines. And when in doubt, use another car to brake. Another close call for us here. Even the pit lane itself was hard. All the incidents helped us get in the high end of the top 20 as I ended my first stint. One of the big challenges was overtaking slower cars while trying not to hold up the faster ones. This river caused me some problems, but I guess it could have been worse. Much, much worse. Puddles, wet lines, wet curbs. There were dangers everywhere. and everyone was just trying to hold on. Thankfully, I managed to do that, to hand the car back over to Ryan. And the server decided to lose him. We lost a lot of time here as the game caught back up, and we got a drive-through. Ollie was now in the car, and he had to avoid chaos of his own. The sun was starting to go down. The lack of light made it hard. And then more rain came. Unfortunately, Ollie here just got a little wide. But at least it wasn't like this. Or this. In fact, Ollie almost did the same thing, but had a nice save. Unlike the leader. Unfortunately, we had another spin right here. And another. But at least we kept it out of the wall each time. Unlike some of the other cars, which helped us gain more positions. Ollie made a pit stop to start his second stint, and unfortunately was cleaned up by this back marker. Just wrong place, wrong time. It had a lengthy repair job now. But out on the track, more repair jobs were needed. This car tried to get the cameraman. 14 laps down now, but we're back on track. We actually streamed most of the race. Unfortunately, we lost a bit of the footage. But here's some of it as Ollie passes another car. And chaos happened in the background. It was now dark and really hard to see the white lines and the curbs. Ollie did a good job bringing the car back. Pretty sure this part of the track featured a chicane. Hayden now in the car and he passed the seductive Wombat car. Sometimes all you can say is ouch. Hayden kept on pushing as our rivals kept binning it. It was very dark out there, but thankfully the track started to dry. But the damp spots were just harder to find. This took out P22 for us. So we gained one more spot. Yep, curbs still bad. Hayden had to do a lot of overtaking. He was very quick in these conditions for us. Apparently no one wanted to stay on the track here. We're back up in the top 20 now, aided by mistakes from others. Lap traffic isn't always easy to pass. At least at night the spinning lights give you some warning. We had a pretty good battle with this car for a little bit and finally got through, as Hayden ended his shift. Ryan got back in, and same result. But at least he didn't put in the wall like this. At least we had something to watch while the server actually got us our car back. Ollie back now in P23. Line them up. Ooh, just a spare. In fact, the drivers seem to be enjoying running into each other. Maybe it was lonely out there in the dark. This one helped us gain yet another position, back up into 21st. More way too friendly cars here. But you can still just do it on your own. Again, cars in front of us kept going off, giving us more and more positions. Although this car decided to Austin Powers the pit lane. And on the racetrack, meanwhile, a new chicane. The rain returned as we pushed on. Of course, rain means chaos, and we had to start avoiding more spinning cars. But we're now back in the top 20 in 18th. Ollie jumped into the pits to put wets and handed the car over to Greg. We gained us a spot when this car spun off, but almost got collected. Greg must have felt bad for them, so he spun to get the position back, but then he just took it again. Driving through the spray was definitely an experience. So little grip out there. And Greg did a good job to avoid this car as we took another position. This was a little too close for comfort. Pit stops for others mean positions for us. As Greg's next stint ended with us in P14. The rain kept coming down. Ooh, easy Greg. The sun was returning as we ended up in another battle with the Misfits team. I blame the sun for this one. This meant a lengthy repair job. We're back down in 20th now. Alright, make that 19th. You just have to be on your toes. Greg pulled it in and gave the car to Jason, who celebrated by spinning. Jason was pretty fast in the wet and had to do a lot of passing. Other cars did not like this. That gave us a drive-through. We finally hit 100 points. Thankfully, a couple of our rivals hit trouble too. Yeah, you're not going anywhere. And this one was pretty big. Jason liked to throw the car sideways. He finished his first stint and we're up to 17th. Once again, the cars ahead of us started spinning off, or rejoining poorly. Almost held that one, but we'll take that position too. Yep, the curbs, those white lines, still bad things to put your tyres on. I just said about the white lines and curbs. Greg got back in the car and we're P15, almost 20 laps off the pace though. The misfits clearly missed us and decided to slow down. Oh, that was super close. Just a little bit of contact there. Oh, no, not out there. You don't want to be there. The rain returned. As we once again passed the misfits. They must be sick of this. And you'd think the leaders would know better. Greg pitted to start his second stint and pushed on to get us P13 and then P12. We don't like the look of this one. Just one more point is a drive-through. Oh no, there it is. Greg handed the car back to Jason. It was super early in the morning for Australia. Greg did a fantastic job. We again celebrated by going off track and decided to drift around this corner. Thankfully, Jason was well aware of the risk coming through here. And disappearing cars make your job very hard. Oh, a bit more contact there. But we get through into P11. 3 wide, it's gonna be fine. Maybe not. Oh yeah, I don't know how we didn't get hit there. Meanwhile, P9 and P10 had a good battle. But then it ended in tears. Good news for us as both cars were damaged. Which put us up into P8. First stint done for Jason. And he got welcomed back on the track with some spinning cars. Trying to smash our way through the lap traffic. And avoiding something like this happening, which gave us P7. I then got back into the car to do my final stint. My job was just to keep P7 and P8 was coming fast, so I had to make my way through traffic fast. That's a left-hand turn. That was a straight. Everything was looking pretty good, and then I made this mistake. That wasn't the worst of it. Then a cone appeared. The cone was stuck on my head and moved. I could barely see the track. This made it hard to see other cars. And I was getting in battles which were quite dicey. So I decided to pit early, even if that meant an extra stop. Ryan finally got in the car and the game agreed that he could actually drive this time. Unfortunately, he got caught up in this crash. This meant more repairs, and we fell down the order. Ryan was keen to make up for this, but he was a little bit too enthusiastic, and that got us another drive-through. The Misfits were trying to catch us, but this mistake meant they couldn't. Then we got tapped around here. Ryan finished his mandatory lap, so we put Jason back in the car to the end. And Jason started pushing towards the flag. We decided to split his last stint into 2 even stops to get the most out of the tyres, and he just had to run flat out. Fortunately, P12 had to pit near the end too, so we were able to take their spot. Jason definitely got a little frustrated with cars like this holding him up. But in the end, P12 is where we would end up. And after 24 hours, the 77 car finished. And donuts could be had. We all had a lot of fun, even if the result wasn't what we hoped for. But we'll be out there to try again next time.